Hello, welcome to Win Some Loosemore. My name is Dieter and you join me for a Why I Like series of videos where I take you through some of the games in our collection and tell you why I like them. Today I'll be telling you why I like Codenames Duet. Original Codenames is a very popular team versus team game where you're giving clues to try and help your team guess the words that belong to you, and then Duet has come out subsequently that takes this idea, but as the word duet would suggest, it is now both cooperative and really designed for two players. You can do cooperative teams still. You could have more than one person on one side and more than one person on the other side, but you are now trying to help each other get all of the words that belong to all of you. Let me show you how it works. I'll come back and tell you why I like Codenames Duet. So here I've set up the game. We start with a 5x5 grid of words. The game comes with absolutely loads of these word cards, so it'll be relatively different each time. We have this little map here that I can see this side of, my partner can see this side of. They are different and they matter for the orientation, and so they relate for me like this. So the top right is top right here, obviously it fits that way, so that goes there so that I can see whether each of these words is either green, which means that's one of the ones I want my partner to guess, beige, which is nothing, or one of these blacked out ones, which is the assassin here. If either of us force an assassin to go down, we've immediately lost the game. We have a little collection of bystanders here in Duet. That means that's the number of rounds that we're going to have. Either we've guessed one of the beige ones, in which case we place the little token onto that word to show that it was a bystander, and we point it at whoever guessed it as a bystander, because it could be a green or a black for the other person. Or if we just guessed correctly, we just turn it over to show that we've taken that round. If you want to make the game a little bit easier, it comes with a couple of extra ones if you want. And so all we do is we take turns looking at our side of the board, of the little card here, and try to link some of these words together. So what have I got here? Judge, medic, nylon, ash, bee, Newton, window, base, ace. Okay, so the way I give a clue is I say one word and then a number. The word is the clue, something that links to as many of these words on the board as I choose, and then the number is how many of those words I am trying to get them to guess. So if I were to say plant and say 2, I'm going to hope now my opponent looks at the board. If you see on these cards, they have the word the right way up and upside down as well, so that both sides can read it all the time. I've just oriented it this way so it's clearer for the camera. And they will look at it and go, okay, plant. What plants do I know? Well, I can't really see any plants. I know ash is a tree, so they're going to touch ash. And if they're right, in this case they are, I take one of these green tiles and cover it up. Regardless of what it was on their side, we've found one of our agents. And so in total there are 15 of these that we need to get right across the rounds, and they got one right. I said there were 2, so they get to look again. Now what do they want to do? They are going to stop there. They could guess on. If ever they guessed a bystander, as I said, we put the bystander token of it, but that's the end of their guessing. They can't do any more. If they ever guessed one, so if I'd said tree, for example, which would have still worked for ash, they might have guessed ash, but they might have also guessed not, which in this case was an assassin, so that would have lost us the game. And so they're going to hold it there. So we flip one of these, one turn has been complete. Now they give me a word and a number as my clue, and we just guess. Some of these match up. So in this case, nylon would have been a green one for both of us. Some of them are nothing for the other person, and one of them, usually at least, is an assassin for somebody else. So they had not as something they wanted me to guess, but for me, if they guessed not, they would have lost us the game. So that's very simple. If we don't guess them all before all 9 tokens have been used, either as a bystander or as a round marker, or the assassin goes out, we lose. But if we get all 15 of these in the right places before the end, we win the game. So that's very simple. If you want to add a bit more, the game comes with this map, which just is almost a scenario booklet. I say booklet just because there's multiple copies. You can do different games with different people, but you can have a go, and each location gives you a number of turns that you get to do it in and how many you are allowed to get wrong. So some of them are very punishing. It's 8-0, you can't get any wrong. Whereas say this 9-9, nice and comfortable. It's where you start, it's your first game. It's a normal game. So what I was showing you here is this first one, 9-9. You have 9 turns to do it. And 9 things can go wrong during that time, so that's okay. And so that will just allow you to add a bit more life, so each game is slightly different. But that is very simply how you play Codenames Duet. So why do I like Codenames Duet? I don't mind normal Codenames. It works well. It's good for large social groups. You can play up to like 4, 5, 6 people on a team. It's a lot of people you can play with, and there's a lot of fun to be had. We owned Codenames Pictures for a while, which is the same kind of idea, but with weird abstract pictures that held different aspects that you could link together to give these clues. But we tried this at the UK Games Expo a couple of years ago as a 2 with 2. So 4 of us were playing. Try and explain that better. And we did it with people we didn't really know, and that was a bit odd, a bit awkward for us, but we were intrigued by the idea, because when we owned Pictures, 2-player doesn't work. Even 3-player, one person was the clue giver for both sides, and we predominantly play as the 2 of us. And so the idea that they came up with a cooperative version for 2 people really intrigued us. So we were really pleased to receive this. We were given this as a gift, and it works well. It takes that idea of the simplicity of what Codenames is, just trying to figure out how to link these words and just giving one clue, one number, nice and simple, really simple gameplay, and providing a good way to do that as an exercise. It's not necessarily, oh, we feel like playing a game, yes, this is the first thing we think of. It's more, it's a nice 15-20 minutes to pass the time. We achieve it about 50% of the time, and it works well. And sometimes it's super easy just from the way the words lay out. I'd be intrigued to try that more than 2-player idea to see how that would work, whether you'd need to discuss the clues amongst you or whether you nominate a clue giver. That would be something to explore. Component quality is absolutely fine. It's just cards and bits of cardboard. The tokens are all really clear, the cards are really clear. It's all the same kind of stuff that you would find in normal Codenames. I wonder whether this should have been more an expansion type thing, so it's more of just a mode of play, because you didn't need a whole new set to be charging the same price. I get why, it's a money thing, but I would now feel bad to go back and buy, not bad, reluctant to go back and buy one of the other Codenames, because I've got most of the components. I'd rather just, I don't know, print off some of the little grids that tell you in the original game red and blue, as opposed to all of them being green in this one. So it works really well for us. So I say we're okay at it. I'd have to play it with some different people to figure out how good or bad I am at it. Probably quite bad at it. What I really enjoy about this is the pad I showed you that has the different missions on, so you can actually make a wider game out of it. So it's taking this spy theme that's sort of there, it's just there for fun, giving you the different scenarios to try and give yourself a sense of progression, making some games harder, some games easier, so that is something that separates it, that makes it its own thing. But I wonder whether they should just produce a Codenames, maybe charge a little bit more, that contains the components for a competitive version and this cooperative version. That might work well. But if you like word games and there's only a couple of you, or you prefer working cooperatively, but still having the same challenge of linking those words together, coming up with good clues that you think people will get, feeling that frustration when they go off on a weird tangent that you definitely weren't thinking of, then this is a good one to check out. It's relatively inexpensive. Codenames Duet. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, consider subscribing to the channel and hitting the bell icon so you stay updated when we put out new content. Follow us on social media in between, where you can find us on all the normal places: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, those kinds of places. Just search Win Some Loosemore and you will find us. I will be back soon with another video. I hope you'll join me for it. Thank you very much. I've been Dieter for Win Some Loosemore. Goodbye.